right, Tamron, my next guest is shattering the stereotype about women and aging. Wendy Euler was nearly 50 years old and a mom of 3 girls when she says she started noticing a toxic tone in conversations about aging, especially related to appearance, like what a woman should wear and how her hair and skin should look. Wanting to change that narrative about aging, not only for her generation, but for her daughters as well, Wendy started a blog called Goodbye Crop Top that then expanded to a podcast called Cropped, a Midlife Minute, where she chats with celebs and a range of people about the stereotypes and style of women over 50. In fact, in a recent Washington Post interview, Wendy said, "I believe I have a responsibility to give younger women something to look forward to instead of something to dread. If you're gonna be here on this planet, embrace it." Tam fam, please welcome blogger, podcaster, and model, Wendy Euler. Thank you so much. You know, your words remind me, so we were on the road with Michelle Obama in her latest book, and we were talking about menopause. And she said, you have to embrace that you've lived long enough to get to the point that your body evolves in this way.
That's right. That's right.
And I just love the conversation that we are having. But I am so perplexed. My mother is a strong woman. We have strong women in this audience and here. What took us so long to be liberated to have these talks?
I don't know. I don't know what took so long, but we're doing it now, and that's all that matters, you know? I mean, finally we're starting to have the talks. And for me, I just, you know, at 49, which I'm going to be 55 in a couple weeks, but at
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Let me be the first.
You know, at 49, I really did notice a lack of information that I was searching for.
Give me an example what you were looking for that you weren't finding.
I didn't even really know, to be completely honest, but I come from advertising and marketing and media, and I'm constantly reading, and I was seeing 2 things. And I was seeing women, you know, 40 plus, we'll just say, who were trying to look and be 30 again, or throwing in the towel because, quite frankly, life does get harder. It doesn't get easier, but the hope is we get better and we're handling things better. But so there was this chasm there. There was this hole of, I wanted to see women. I was personally feeling powerful and positive and privileged to age. And so I decided to start talking about that because I wasn't seeing it anywhere. So.
You said something in a recent podcast. You said 50 is not the new 40. 50 is the new 50.
Yes.
And this is the point.
Yes. Yeah. This is the point.
This is the point.
Yeah. Yeah, and what I mean by that is, at least for me and for everything I've seen growing up, 50 is very different from when my mom was 50.
Yes.
50 is rad. 50 is amazing. 50 is lucky. And, and, you know, and I really think, why can't, you know, why can't 50 just be 50?
Right.
So, yeah, that's what I mean
because
by that.
Because it is, and I felt, and you've said this before, you recently interviewed Kate Bosworth, the actress. You said, this is about this comparison that we all fall into. Let me play a clip.
It's not easy. It's hard. It's like, I feel like I'm slapped here, and then things are coming at me, and the things that face you in middle age. But what I've done and what you're doing and have done is you're getting better and stronger and letting things go. And it's funny that the more that comes at you, the more you learn to let go if you do the right practices.
You know, I was listening to that clip, and I know we talk so much about how social media has a negative impact on young people, but we also have to own that it's having a negative impact on us in our 50s and our 40s. I have friends that go on, they see someone on vacation, they need to be on vacation. Yeah. We all fall into the trap of, okay, is that picture real? Did they get this done? You know, measuring and comparing. Yeah. So when we talk about social media and the impact of it all, we should not, I feel, speak solely as if people over 30 and 40, 50 on are not impacted by this as well, especially women. We pretend we're not, but it does, and we fall for the comparison.
I think we're as impacted. I mean, I think it's, and, you know, this quote is so overused, but it's so true that comparison is indeed the thief of joy.
Yes.
And comparison and judgment to me go hand in hand. And you start comparing, you start judging, you start looking around, and it's so toxic. And I truly don't do that. In a recent interview, someone said, "Who are your competitors?" I said, "I don't know."
I say the same thing.
I don't know. I do the best I can, and I go to bed at night hoping I put good and helpful content out in the world.
We are asked that all the time because
Yeah.
I'm thankful that daytime there's great representation of women hosting shows. And for a long time when I was asked that question, I would rebuff it. And I thought, okay, does this sound awful when I say, we're not competing.
No.
I don't have any competition.
No.
I said, I'm not falling for the okie doke. And I started to refuse interviews that were going to compare me with other shows.
Yeah.
I did. I said, don't ask me.
Yeah.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
We all bring something unique to the table, and it's unfair to us to clump us all in one category.
That's right. That's right. And a couple things there. One, you know, as I started reaching out for this podcast, which I did all on my own, I didn't want favors. I wanted people genuinely to want to be there. And I had a couple people, women, say to me, "I consider you a competitor, and I just don't see it right that I come on." I'm like, wait a minute.
Right.
Like, the louder the voice gets and the more we have these conversations, the better off we all are.
Absolutely.
And I think that, you know, I think this, like I said, comparison and judgment to me go hand in hand. And the second you stop judging others, the freedom is there, you know?
I want to put a pin in that because when we come back, how do you resist the urge? How Wendy has transformed the way she thinks and how she's passing it down to the listeners and her own daughter after the break. We are back with model, blogger, and host of the popular podcast, Cropped, a Midlife Minute, Wendy Euler, who's breaking the mold on how people view aging and style, especially with women. Wendy, you're a mom of 3 daughters. You've got Palmer's 20, Coco is 18, Georgia is 8. I know you do this podcast to build the community of women and dialogue, but you also do it for your daughters.
100%, yeah.
How does it feel to have them hear you create this movement?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, look, my daughters are way further ahead than I ever was in the game. They're smarter, they're self-advocates, they're so good on their own. I mean, they're just amazing.
Well, can I get your fans of your daughters? They're pretty big fans of you. And they wanted to send a message to you on how you've inspired them. Take a look.
Watching her inspire all of these women that are growing older has changed my life in ways that I don't even know yet.
She preaches to so many women that it's more important to just be happy with who you are. Getting to grow old is such a privilege, and that's what she's taught us, and that's what I'm excited about.
Hi, Mom. You have inspired me so much, and in so many ways I can't even begin to thank you for. You've helped me become the woman I am growing into and will continue to grow into until the end of time.
We're so lucky to be your daughters, Georgia too. You're the most amazing mom, and we don't tell you enough. So there's a little reminder how much we love you.
Well, I'm done. I can hang it up now. Wow.
You know, we here on our show, we talk
God.
about life, and I always say, I need a witness to that person's life.
Yeah.
There's no greater gift than have your child be the witness to your life and say, we're lucky that you're our mom.
Wow. Yeah, that's probably one of the greatest moments of my life right there. Ever. Yeah. And that's a surprise to me. Yeah.
You've launched your 3rd season of the podcast. What do you want this next version of the next message to be as you break this mold in this dialogue?
Yeah, well, I want to continue the message that I've, started, and I just, I'm happy it's getting louder. I'm happy more people are talking about it. I'm starting to bring in one guest each month again, and hopefully can offer some value and different perspectives and opinions that way. But I just want to continue to offer a bright place and a place that, look, there's enough doomsday out there. There's enough, sadness and bad things. So my podcast is 5 minutes, a 5-minute bright, happy spot on a Monday morning to inspire.
I love it. I love it. Congratulations, Wendy, on all your success.
Thank you.
And you can check out Wendy's podcast, Cropped, a Midlife Minute, wherever you get your podcast.